welcome from Team Dark Strategies. We are headed into yet another battle report, of course. 1,000 points tonight. I've been liking the 1,000 point battle reports. I think, just with the time we have to play these games, 1,000 points, just time alone is a reason. But I think tactically, and I want to do a video about 1,000 point battles versus 1,500 and 2,000 point. It's been intriguing to play these smaller type of games. I still think you get some toys to play with, not all the toys. So when you're army building, it actually feels a little bit more tactical in a way of being frugal. Bringing units that you're going to need to get on objectives, but also bringing units that are going to pack a punch, because you need to pack that punch early on in any whatever armor you're facing, because you're probably going to be facing some armor. You're probably going to be facing some multi-wound monster creatures, or dreadnoughts or whatever. So you need some big AP weapons, but you also need bodies on the table. So 1,000 points, having fun with this. But let's get into what we're going to do tonight. Chaos Demons versus Grey Knights. Now both of these are my armies. John's going to play the Chaos Demons in this battle report, and man, it's really good to get them, the Chaos Demons, out of the case. It will be a fun battle. Thematically, you'll see in the tabletop review the lava board with the Khorne Demons and the Grey Knights. Now this is a mono Khorne Demon army, so tons of bloodletters, bloodthirster. We got it's just an absolute amount of bodies on the table when it comes to demons. I'm very excited to see how they play. I'm playing Grey Knights, but I'm rooting for the Khorne Demons in this battle. Now, Grey Knights for me, I'm gonna be honest, I bought the Codex when it came out for 9th, read through it, but wasn't really intrigued to play them a lot. On the channel, this will be the first Grey Knight battle report that we have. So there's plenty of things for me to learn yet on Grey Knights. So we're going to treat this one as a practice round for the Grey Knight Codex and me as the general learning thing. So hopefully I don't forget too much. There is a lot of moving parts with Grey Knights, with the psychic powers and the brotherhoods, and a lot of special rules, I should say to kind of remember. So yeah, let's see how they do. But again, we're playing this one because we think it'll be a pretty fun battle, just thematically. So let's get into the battle report. Like and subscribe as always. We have plenty more content incoming. Tonight's tabletop review of what we will be fighting over and across and under and all that good stuff. We have a Mechanicum reclamation rig set up to be reclaiming all of these past pre-heresy relics from a bygone era. But essentially, this mat, this lava board, super themed with the Grey Knights and the Khorne Demons fighting across it. It's going to be a gorgeous one. I'm just looking forward to taking photos and all that good stuff as the game goes on. But as far as the terrain setup, it's very symmetrical. All four corners and then one dead center in the middle. We're going to be playing this as an industrial structure. So -1 to shoot through it. And then it does provide some line of sight blocking this big angel. And then on the sides, we do have ruins. So +1 to save when you're in it. One over here as well, over here, and a big one over there. Huge line of sight blocking because there's no windows in the bottoms of these. And then over here, we do have another industrial structure. Again, there's line of sight blocking down below, but up top, it'll be -1 to hit if you're in there or shooting through it. As far as objectives go, we are going to be playing out of the chapter-approved Warzone Nachman Grand Tournament, pages 22 and 23, if you're going to follow along as you watch this battle report. It should be a fun one. They're actually the secondaries. You can lose points if you don't do things well. So that is a first as far as on the channel playing this one. So objectives, there's one in right on the deployment line of each deployment. So deployment is diagonal along the line here. A lot of space to deploy, so that will be beneficial. But one objective here, and then on the deployment on this side of the map, we have the diagonal line, and then one objective here. And then right down the middle on either side of the angel, we have one there and one there. So that is that for the tabletop review. 1,000 points of Chaos Khorne Demons. Wow, look at this. They've been in the case for about 3 years now. So John's going to be fielding my army. Tonight he's bringing a patrol detachment. In the HQ slot, we do have the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. Look at that huge axe. He should do some damage tonight. In the relic slot for him, he has Armor of Scorn for that 4-up invul save. And then he has the Rage Incarnate Warlord trait for the re-rolling of one's aura. So that should be helpful if I can get stuck into combat. And then he's also going to pay the points for Exalted Bloodthirster, giving him the Slaughterborn traits, which is essentially +1 attack and +1 strength for if he charges and gets in to combat. So that should be helpful. In the troops section, we have a huge blob of 30 Bloodletters. They are equipped with the Instrument of Chaos, and they upgraded their icon of Chaos to be the Banner of Blood. So that's massive. And then they're probably going to pay their points for Denizens of the Warp so they can come in and do that combo with the Banner of Blood, coming in from reserves and then charging. It should be pretty wicked. And then on the right and left of them, they do have a unit of 17 Bloodletters. Each of these also has the Instrument of Chaos, and same thing on this side. We're going to bring 3 Blood Crushers. Love these models, always have. If they can get stuck in, they can do some damage. Only 3 of them. I'd like to have, more, but 1,000 points, so we're going to bring what we can. And then a unit of Fleshhounds just to fill some of the points gaps. Good for objectives, and they can do some damage in combat. So not a single gun involved in this army. Pretty typical for Khorne, really. So let's basically, it should be quick turns for them. If they can get stuck into combat, then they can do some damage. If they can't, oh boy, we shall see what happens. So let us get into the Grey Knights. 1,000 points of Grey Knight goodness. Look at them on this lava board against Chaos Demons. It's going to truly be a themed battle tonight, and a pretty one for sure. I'm going to be bringing a Spearhead detachment because we do have 3 heavies in the slots. I always like Purgation squads, so that's why we're kind of rocking them. In 9th edition, this will be kind of a test run to see how the Grey Knights do as far as this list goes, and then we're going to kind of branch off and get this army back up and running for the channel so they can start competing a little more. In the HQ slot, we do have a Grandmaster in Nemesis Dread Knight armor. He's going to be equipped with Vortex of Doom and Gate of Infinity for his psychic powers. He's also rocking Demon Slayer for his Warlord trait because we are facing demons, so that should come in handy. And then in the relic, if I say this right, Augurium Scrolls, we're going to give that a roll and see if it helps us tonight. He is also upgrading Wisdom of the Prognosticars to Gifts of the Prescient. So that's just another upgrade. We'll see if I can remember all of this, but either way, we'll get these Grey Knights up and running. In the troops section, we have 2 Terminators squads, 5-man squads, identical. Each one has a side cannon, and they're all equipped with halberds. And like I said, I do love my Purgation squads. These all have silencers. Same on this side. So they spit out a lot of shots against Bloodletters. It should be helpful. We'll see if it's truly helpful. And then last but not least, we do have another Dread Knight. Now I wanted to get his Greatsword in there, but points-wise, I just couldn't do it. So we do have the Fists and then the Incinerator. So let's get into the battle. I'm very curious to see how the Grey Knights kind of jive together in 9th edition and see if we can't score objectives and slaughter some demons. Let's get to it. been deployed. We have Khorne Daemons versus Grey Knights. Demons won the roll-off for attacker defender, chose defender, and picked this deployment on this side of the board. So we'll go over them first as far as where they placed. So we do have one unit of 17 bloodletters on this objective, with the wisdom is the cornerstone of faith primary objective. It's very important to hold this objective, and because you get CP every turn, and it denies me points in my turn. So that is one unit of troops. On the right flank, we have another unit of 17 looking to charge up through that gap there probably. And then the big boy, the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage, he's kind of middle of the board. He's going to try and face off probably against those Dread Knights. So yeah, again, write down the deployment. And then we have the Fleshhounds, Dead Center, and the Blood Crushers. And then the big unit of 30 Bloodletters, they are in the warp. They paid their 2 points to be in the warp. Yeah, so that's it for Demon deployment. And then over on mine, the Grey Knights, we have a unit of Purgation Squad on mine objective. Again, it's good to keep this one for CP generation and denying John points. And then Dead Center, I have the Grand Master, and then the Nemesis Dread Knight kind of bolstering the center. And then on the right-hand side, we have another unit of Purgations kind of holding down this ridge against possible incursions. And then we have one unit of 5 Terminators right dead center, probably going to move up and see, although we don't want to move up too far into a Khorne Demon line, but we do have to grab objectives in 9th edition. And then we do have a unit of 5 Terminators in reserves coming in turn 2, turn 3 with the Deep Strike. So that's that. All right, top of turn 1, Grey Knight's movement and psychic phase. This is what happened in the movement phase. The Purgation Squad did move up, and we're playing a risky game here because we don't want to get charged first turn. But I think, keyword is think, that we're still safe. So we're then 24 inches of our silencers on the Bloodletters. So that's the movement there. Same thing with the Grand Master. He moved up. He's going to be doling out his aura for re-rolling, but his silencer will hit those as well. This Grey Knight this Dread Knight moved back a little bit because we are he's kind of in a holding pattern because that big unit of 30 is coming in, so he is doing a little bubble screen here. But if he's needed up the field, he can do that. The Grey Knights, again, did move up. We are within 3 inches of this objective now, so risky game because we do have Blood Crushers. They are pretty quick, and the Fleshhounds, so could get charged, but they are Terminators. They might be able to hold them on. And then the Purgation Squad over here didn't really have much to shoot at, so it did shuffle over to center because from the looks of it over here, it looks like John is going to swing around here, but we'll see. So they're kind of in a holding pattern as well. We still have the Grey Knights in ready for deep striking turn 2. In the psychic phase, there wasn't much for range, so I did play Powerful Adept to increase my smite range to 24. Try to smite, roll to 6, but John with the Fleshhounds over here, were within deny range of the Grandmaster, and they rolled an 8. So they denied the smite, but I did lose that 1 CP to do that. So it was worth it. Maybe, demons, every model I can chip off is beneficial to me. So let's get into the shooting phase now and see if I can take out a chunk of those Bloodletters. Of the top of turn 1, Grey Knights have finished their shooting phase, and we went into the morale phase. So the Purgation Squad used, since they are the Prescient Brethren chapter, or whatever you want to call that, they did use the 1 command point to get Foresight on them in the shooting phase. So they unloaded all their silencers into the Bloodletters, and they killed what was it? They killed 12? Something like that. They killed a lot of the bloodletters, and then the Grand Master opened up with his silencer and brought more of them down, leaving 3 of the bloodletters left alive. John chose to do Insane Bravery on this one just to keep them around, because he does want them to be killed in the shooting phase or the fight phase, so then he can replenish them with the Demonic Incursion stratagem, if that so works out. And then over here, so that was beneficial on the left flank. And then over here, the Terminators, since they did move up, they targeted the Blood Crushers and did 1 wound with their Stormbolters. So not a horrible shooting on the right, but that was pretty deadly on the left flank with the Grandmaster and the Purgation Squads. So, with that said, let's get into Demons. Turn 1, they have no guns, they have no psychic, so they run straight up the battlefield. Demons, turn 1, all there is movement phase, since there is no shooting in psychic phase with Khorne, because he hates psychers. Why Demons over here, the Bloodletters, they advanced up the table. The Fleshhounds moved around in the center. Actually, a good spot for them. They are claiming this objective.
They also advanced?
They also advanced. And they have that nice bubble of denying at least 1 psychic power if they can. The Bloodthirster, he advanced, jumped up here. I don't know, John, if you want to explain.
Yep, he jumped up there, hopefully to get the benefit of that -1 to hit him, because he's gonna have to take a few shots before he can get inside. So I'm hoping that Jace rolls really low.
Yes. And then over here, the Blood Crushers advanced as well, and they're in that -1 to hit area. And then these Demon Bloodletters, they spread out to deny the corner over there for that Deep Striking Terminator unit. So that's that. No charges because advances, no shooting, and no psychic. So let's get into Grey Knights, turn 2. Grey Knights have finished their movement phase. We're going to do psychic phase in a separate, just because there will be a lot of psychic stuff. So just the movement. Terminators moved up here. We were contemplating to play the defensive game or aggressive game. We're going to choose to try and do both. We're going to push up the battlefield early on, do some damage as much as we can, and hopefully blunt that charge in John's second turn here. So Terminators did move up onto this objective a little further, get some shots in, and possibly charge those Blood Crushers. Purgation Squad on the rise, the hill here, they have targets, they stayed put. Targets on the Fleshhounds, targets on the Blood Crushers. On the left flank, the Nemesis Dread Knight over here did move up. We are opening this up, for that unit of 30, but they're just... the 30 is going to come in regardless. I don't have enough units to screen the backfield, so curious to see where John places them. So he moved up. He's got the heavy incinerator to do some damage, maybe burn out those Fleshhounds. Purgation Squad on this side stayed put. Again, they have targets on the Fleshhounds, the remaining Bloodletters, so on and so forth. And then the Grandmaster, again, playing aggressively here, did move up. Got a lot of shots with both the incinerator and the silencer, and then charge whatever's left. At the end of the movement phase, the 5-man Terminator Squad did come in, see if we can't whittle down this unit. John used up the Insane Bravery, so if we can get them enough casualties, maybe they'll run. Some of them at least will run. If we can get some charges in, that would be even better. But this is a contested objective to get to score 2 points and then deny John some points too. So that's the strategy. Let's see what happens in the psychic phase. We got a lot going off here. Psychic phase, Grey Knights, turn 2. We spent 1 command point for mental focus on the Grandmaster to cast 2 powers. He did Vortex of Doom on the Fleshhounds, killing 2.5, and then he smited them as well, killing an additional dog. So the Fleshhounds are down to 2. And then a bunch of the smites, we attempted smites around the board. Unfortunately, they just didn't go off. So let's get into the shooting phase. The shooting phase has been completed. We did finish off this remaining bloodletter with the purgation squad over here. John then paid 2 points for demonic incursion, so they will be coming back in this next turn. So that is, but John did use up the last of his points. So we are down on that. The Grandmaster, I thought I was going to actually do more damage, live and learn on the split fire stuff, but the heavy incinerator went into the flesh hounds and only did 1 damage to them. The silencer then got greedy, and I wanted to pile into the rest of the shots on the blood crushers through there, but ultimately the blood crushers are still on 2 models remaining. One of them's down to 1 wound. So I did wound them, but it just didn't happen the way I wanted to clear off that objective. Oh well. In the shooting phase over here, I am retrieving Nachman data for this, so we have to roll for that at the end of the turn. We'll get to that. And then the Grey Knights the Terminators unloaded all their Storm Bolters and the Psy Cannon into the Blood Crushers as well. So that was that over there. You can see in the beginning of the charge phase, we rolled this off and they got in there. And then over here, stripped, how many were brought low on this?
You killed 5.
5 bloodletters were gunned down by the Terminators deep striking in. Which, I knew he was going to pull from the front to deny that charge, but again, as many as I can kill, the better on that. So they'll have to take a morale check, see how many fall from that. And then at the beginning of the charge phase, the Grandmaster did fail a charge roll into the Flesh Hounds, unfortunately. I was thinking of doing a command reroll on that charge, but I only have 2 CP left, and I have plans for that 2 CP in the assault phase. So, let's get on to assaults. We have the Terminators into the Blood Crushers. I'm still on this objective here, so 3 of them will be fighting, 2 of them will be out of the fight. Let's get on to that, and then we'll see the results of that combat. We'll see the results of the Nachman data, and then we'll see the results of the morale checks. End of Grey Knight's assault phase and morale phase. The Terminators, the Justicar, and the 2 Terminators here sliced up those Blood Crushers pretty easily, unfortunately, for John. And then at the end of the morale phase, the unit failed, lost 4 in that. So that unit has dwindled down to 7 strong. And then over here, we did roll a 5 on the Retrieve Nachman, so the Purgation Squad did get their Cervical Skull to add that to the score. So let's get on to Demons, turn 2. Movement phase, the Bloodthirster flew down from the industrial structure down here. Look at that, they're going to take out the Grey Knight Terminators. That should be a battle. The unit that was Demonic Incursion Stratagem, the unit that I killed over there, they came back as reserves for 2 points and came in on my right flank, so they have options as well. And then over here, look at that. That's gorgeous. 30 bloodletters, all equipped with the Banner of Blood, and they came in from the Denizens of the Warp. So they get 3d6 to charge, probably a multi-charge into them. That will be bloody indeed. And then over here, the Grey Knights, or the Bloodletters that were remaining shuffled up. We'll see what John does with that. And then the Flesh Hounds stayed put on this objective. So, at the beginning of the turn, for primaries, John scores 8 points for holding 2. So that is that. Let's get on to the charge phase. Charging. No psychic, no shooting. Let's get some charges. End of Demon's charge phase. The Bloodthirster definitely got into the Terminators. He's actually just got moved. He's on the objective and he's about to make a big old swipe on that. This unit, unfortunately, did not charge the Purgation Squad. They failed. They used a reroll and still failed. So that was unfortunate for the rebirthed Bloodletters. But from over here, big 3d6 charge from the Banner of Blood. The Denizens of the Warp unit of 30 did come in. I chose to overwatch with my Dread Knight with the Heavy Incinerator, and I did bring 5 of them down. So they're down to 25. I don't think the Purgation Squad will be living, but maybe, just maybe, the Dread Knight will stick around. So let's get into... Oh, and one more charge went off. Over here, the Bloodletters left the objective and charged into the Grey Knights. So that is that. We have a lot of dice to roll. Let's see what the Demons can do. Demons finished their turn 2, scored a good many points in this turn. Let's go over what happened. They failed their charge, but the Bloodthirster, absolutely, he did the, what's it called, the big chop, the big swing, mighty sweep with his axe, and just annihilated all those Terminators. So that was point scoring plus mighty strike. He absolutely just obliterated them. So he claims this objective, gets points for his secondaries. And then over here, half and half kind of went in a little bit more onto the Nemesis Dread Knight. That was a little more unfortunate for John. He only got 6 wounds through, and even with my invul save, I failed all 6 of them. So he was brought down to 3 wounds. In return, I think I dropped... 3 with the fists. And then over here, 4 of the Purgation Squads were brought low, and then the Justicar swung back, bringing 2 down, and then the Justicar actually failed his leadership and ran. So that was good on the Demons for more points killed. And then swinging over to this side of the battlefield, 1 Terminator and was brought low, 1's on 1 wound, and then in return 4 fell. So that was kind of a drawn combat there, probably a little more in the favor of the Grey Knights on this side. But John ultimately, with the Demon charge in this phase, scored 18 points with primaries and secondaries. So that was good. Demons are in the lead currently. So let's get to turn 3. Psychic phase. No points scored in primaries because John knocked me off on this objective, on that objective. So unfortunately for the Grey Knights on points wise. Movement phase, I did fall back with the Nemesis Dread Knight out of combat there because I just got to get some shooting in. The Grandmaster slid over a little bit here because I wanted to get a smite off on the Fleshhounds. They stayed put, and then the Purgation Squad stayed put over there as well. In the Psychic phase, I did get a smite off and kill 1 of the Fleshhounds. There was a smite over here on the big Bloodletter, killing 1. And then all the way over here, I had a really good roll on the smites and wiped the 3 remaining there. So they are open to, I guess, shoot. Yeah, we'll probably get some shots off on the Fleshhound. So that's that shooting phase, and then we just wrapped up the charge phase just to see if I could get one in. As far as the shooting phase, I was really hoping to finish off the Fleshhound with the Terminators, but they shot everything they had, and with that -1 to hit, didn't do anything. So I did have to ultimately split fire here. The Heavy Incinerator finished off the remaining Fleshhound, but that did save John. He's going to score 12 points here in this next turn because there is still 1 remaining. So the Gatling Silencer went into there, brought down a great many of the Bloodletters, and then the Purgation Squad also brought them down. 3 remaining, and then in the morale phase, I did attempt to charge on this but failed, and then in the morale phase, 1 ran, and then there was another one that ran away. So the champion here is still left on it, so that means John does have the 2 objectives here, so that'll score him 4, 8, and then more than me, 12, which will be really good, and then he gets the additional... for this special mission, he gets the additional 2 points. So that will be a good turn for the demons. But I'm very happy to clear off this quadrant. Now we have to still contend with a unwounded bloodthirster and then a unit of 17. So the casualties are high, as to be expected with the demons. But the points, the demons are winning. So let's get into the demon turn 3. Demons have finished their turn in the charge phase. The charge went off with the purgation squad, and they are no longer in existence, so that is good. And then the Nemesis Dread Knight, the Heavy Sport one, was charged by the brutal beast of the Bloodthirster and was brutally smacked down pretty easily. So that was another 19-point turn for the demons. Well done for John. Let's get into Grey Knights, turn 4. At the top of turn 4, I will not be scoring any of the points again because I'm just not on there. I only have 2 units remaining, as does John. Well, actually, 3 units remaining over here. But pretty well. I think the demons are going to take this away. But let's see how much damage I can do. I might just do a moral victory here and fight or attempt a moral victory and fight the Bloodthirster. Who knows who's going to win on that. So let's get into it. Grey Knights are trying to fight back here. In the movement phase, the Grey Knight Terminators advanced. Didn't quite get into range. They rolled a 3, so we were just shy of that objective. So, next turn maybe. In here, the Nemesis Dread Knight moved closer to Mr. Bloodthirster here, and in the psychic phase, he Vortex of Doomed him, and I rolled really good. I got the Vortex of Doom off, and then I rolled 2 1s for the damage. Absolutely sad. So I brought him down to 14 wounds, and then in the shooting phase, I had to wipe this guy off, so I split fire. I did the Heavy Incinerator into the Bloodthirster, and then the Gatling Silencer finished off the remaining Blood Letter? I'm getting tired here. So, yeah, so he's gone. Points. This is my home objective, so that is a points thing. But we are going to head into, we rolled our charge. He is in the fight, so this is the epic showdown here of Bloodthirster versus the Grand Master. End of Grey Knight's turn, charge phase. We got the charge off. Big battle here with the Bloodthirster. By denying the Bloodthirster his invulnerable save, I didn't actually get a lot of hits through, but I got 2 wounds through, and ultimately I brought him down to 2 wounds left. So probably could have chopped him up if I rolled a little better. So Grandmaster did perform, just not enough in this particular battle. And then in return, the Bloodthirster was so wounded, he only brought me down 3 wounds. So that's that. Let's get into the bottom of turn 4 Corn Demon phase. John's still going to score some points. Only 1 point was scored in my turn, so the demons look like they're going to win this one, pulling out for points, and then we can recap it at the end here. Chaos Daemons, end of turn 4. The Bloodletters moved over just to pile in on this Grandmaster, and they ultimately did 4 wounds to him, bringing him down to 6. And then in return, the Grandmaster did slaughter the Bloodthirster. So he's gone. They are scoring this one. So they actually scored 9 points. So demons are racking up the points. Going into turn 5, I'm not going to score any points again for the primaries. So let's just see if the Grandmaster stays alive. But that will be the end of the game shortly. End of Grey Knight's turn. I actually realized the Nemesis Dread Knight is a vehicle, so if I'm playing it right, I shot into combat, wiped out a lot of them. They were down to 5, and then in the cell phase. So that was cool. John lost the morale, lost one guy in morale, but rolled okay for the rest of them. So that was it. Didn't really do anything points wise. So John is just going to finish up. I think he's going to see if he can't chop up the Grandmaster. He might be able to. So let's see if he does, and then if not, the game is over and Demons take the win. Just finished another battle report for the channel. Hopefully everyone liked this one. It was fun to shoot, it was fun to play, and it was just fun to see the kind of beauty of lava and corn and Grey Knights clash it all out on the tabletop. So I hope you enjoyed. We did for sure. I got a smile on my face because I wanted the Chaos Daemons to win this one, and they did a good job. John did a really good job playing this one. He was playing for kill points, but he also was playing very tactically, and I think that kind of won him the game. He wanted to get out and touch those Grey Knights early on, which he did, but he also chose to attack certain units before attacking other units, and that I think clinched the win for him. It was a swirly battle, and I like those swirly battles when armies start to counter and swirl around the battlefield. That always is fun. So MVP to the Demons. I want to give it to the Bloodletters, but I am going to give it to the Bloodthirster, and this is why. When John, I believe it was turn 2, the Demon was on the big industrial structure by the big angel, right? He could have flown down and charged the Grandmaster. He chose to instead fly the opposite direction away from the Grandmaster and hit those Terminators. That was, I think, strategically what turned the battle, because by wiping those Terminators, it crushed my right flank. With those Terminators there, I could have nullified that 17 Bloodletter unit that came in. I don't think that they would have been much of a threat. My Purgation squad then would have still been alive. It would have swung. I would have, had the objectives on this side of the battlefield. I could have done more retrieved Nachman data and all of that. So that was genius as far as, you kind of wanted to fight the Grandmaster, but the Grandmaster was tooled up to have the ability to fight first. And with that Thunder, that Nemesis Demon Hammer, with the Demon Slayer Warlord trait, it was just brutal towards the Bloodthirster, which we saw at the end there. I mean, the Bloodthirster just got chopped up pretty easily. So that, I think, won the game for the Chaos Daemons. So great job on John for doing that. But I do, in a very close second place, the Bloodletters for MVP, just because there were so many of them. And yes, they die. I mean, they pop very quick. They're very squishy units. But so many of them in a 1,000-point game that, coming in on the backfield, which I knew they would, hitting that multi-charge with the Nemesis Dread Knight and the Purgation squad, but most importantly, grabbing the objectives. And that was a key objective to grab, not only for primary, like taking hold, but the other primary where it was denying me 2 points and giving John an additional 2 points. So aces on that. So Grey Knights going into the battle, like I said before, this was a practice round. I knew I was a little undermanned as far as my knowledge of the Codex. I was trying to read up before the game, and even during the game I was trying to. There is a lot of moving parts, in my personal opinion, with Grey Knights as far as the psychic powers. I know I missed some key psychic powers that I should have taken or used. I don't think I was using the Brotherhood, special ability, and then what is it? The things I have to kind of work on is the the wisdom of the prognosticar thing for my HQ unit. There was some stratagems that I would like to have used. I was running low by taking a spearhead. It probably was detrimental. And again, I was using a kind of 8th edition army list with the purgation squads and the heavy support. So lesson learned there. If I had more CP, I could have used a little bit more tactics. I think I used the relics pretty good. Psychic powers again, could have been a little bit better on that one. But yeah, the Masters of the Warp, the like Tide of Convergence, the Tide of shadows and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't prepared enough to know what I should have been doing there. So have to study this a little bit more. But like I said, I think the Grey Knights or the Demons did pull out a very good win, and I'm very happy. I got a smile on my face for them. I want to take the Demons and fight some other armies with them myself. Where John and I were talking possible future battle reports, maybe Demons versus Orcs. Orcs kind of struggling a little bit, so maybe we do a classic Green Tide versus Bloodletters and see how that goes. That should be kind of fun. Or we're even thinking, Death Guard versus Khorne might be a unique type of battle. Some other armies like Space Marines and Necrons, I don't foresee a very good outcome for Demons, but like any game, you never know. You never know. I mean, I think maybe a lot of people were thinking Grey Knights were going to pull this one off with. Maybe they should have if I was playing it correctly. But John was very strategic in his maneuvering here. So let's get into another battle report. Like always, really like and subscribe. I really enjoy shooting these unique battle reports. Really enjoy setting up these tabletops to play fun, good-looking battles. So. If you do like, definitely subscribe. We've been enjoying as the subscribers go up in the comments and stuff. So we've been enjoying kind of building this little mini community around Dark Strategies. We hope to see it grow a little bit more even. So yeah, thank you for your support, and let's get into the next battle report.